Alright guys, got another crockpot recipe for you today. Today, we're going to be making some brown sugar maple pork tenderloins. So, really excited to see how this turns out. I love crockpot recipes. It's great to be able to just put this on in the morning, come home in the afternoon, and your meal's already cooked. So, I've already got in my crock pot some pork tenderloins. All of the ingredients and measurements will be below. I'm actually doubling this because we've got some friends coming over, and so I've got several people I'm going to be feeding. But you go ahead and get your pork tenderloins. You're going to salt and pepper them, make sure they're really good and salt and pepper all over. Then in another bowl, you're going to take some garlic, some minced garlic, put that together. Then you're going to add some pure maple syrup. Get that into the bowl. Who doesn't like maple syrup? Then you're going to get some honey. Mine is overflowing here. I thought my little cup was bigger than it was when I was pouring it out. Maple and honey. This is bound to be really good and sweet, huh? Then you're going to actually put in some Dijon mustard. I'm using the Dijon mustard made with Chardonnay because that's how we roll in this house. Oh yeah, Chardonnay. Okay, actually I had no idea that's what it was. I just picked it up. Brown sugar. There we go. A little bit of cider vinegar. And then you're just going to add a little bit of thyme, dried thyme. Alright, then you're just going to get this all together, whisk it all, make sure it's all really good and combined. And guys, this is what's so easy and simple about crockpot recipes. I mean, we're almost done at this point. Well, besides the cooking part. Please don't eat this raw. Side note. Alright, I think we got this all good and mixed. Then once you get that all together, let me move this right here, you're just going to want to pour it all over the pork tenderloins. Make sure that it's nice and covered. You did it all. Alright. Once you get that all together, you just want to make sure that they're fully coated, so you're going to just kind of roll them around. If you're a vegetarian, why are you watching this show right now? When I was pulling these out of the packages, I was like, oh wow, it's hard not to like vision a pig. It's just, I don't know. But I love meat, I love beef, pork, whatever. So we're just going to make sure these are all covered. And once we get this covered fully, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the cover on it, and I'm going to let it cook for about 7 to 8 hours in the crock pot. And so, alright guys, so it has been 7 hours since we put the pork tenderloins on. They are nice and really well cooked. Picking them up is going to be a challenge because they want to just fall right apart. But I'm going to get all of these moved over here onto a plate. Gosh, it smells really good. And like I said, they're like falling apart. They're so tender right now. But what we're going to do is once we get all of this onto the plate, we're going to make kind of like a gravy. Oh, this is insane. It smells so good. But we're going to make a gravy using the juice that the tenderloins cooked in all day. And we're just going to thicken it up with a little bit of cornstarch and some water. So there's really nothing more that we're going to add to it. Just going to thicken it up so it's more of a consistency of a gravy, because right now it is still very liquidy. Whew, look at all this, guys. This looks so good, right? Alright, I think I got all the pieces. Might be a little bit more in there, but That'll just make it taste good. So let me move this out of the way. And I'm going to try to pour this into this saucepan. Alright, so I got this in the saucepan. Let's move over to the oven because we're going to let this simmer for a little. Alright guys, so we have the sauce. It's still warm, but what we're going to want to do is we want to bring this to a boil. And let me get a little spoon here. So we're going to let this come to a boil, but in the meantime, we're going to take some cold water and we're going to add some cornstarch to it. And you just want this to dissolve. So you're going to stir it together so that it will dissolve. And what we're going to do is once this comes to a boil, we're going to let it simmer. We're going to put it back down on low to let it simmer, and then we're going to add this cornstarch water mixture to it. We're going to whisk it around so it'll become more like a gravy. So I'm going to let this come to a boil, and then we'll add the cornstarch. Alright guys, so it's coming to a boil. I'm going to turn it down to simmer. I'm going to take it off a little bit because I caught it a little bit late. Before I add the cornstarch, I'm going to let this simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes. If it doesn't overflow. I'm going to let it simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes so it'll reduce a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and add the cornstarch. Alright guys, so we've had this simmering on the stove now for about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and take my cornstarch in cold water and just pour it in. Probably in the way, but sorry. Come on, cornstarch. Don't let me down. Alright, it's going to be stubborn. So a little bit more there at the bottom. We can always add it as we want. Anyways, don't worry about that. Get to whisking. And it's thickening up instantly. I probably needed a bigger saucepan. Probably don't need to use that hand or you can't see it too well. But we're just going to let it continue to cook on low for about another minute or two. Just so it can get thick. And it's already getting a lot thick. Yeah, that's it. And that's just how easy it is. Oh, there's a piece of meat in there. That's just how easy it is. And I'm going to get some of it plated and put a little bit of this gravy on it. It tastes really good. It kind of, you can taste like the Dijon in it with a little bit of a kick. And then it ends with a little bit of the sweetness of the maple and the brown sugar. So I'm going to get this plated and we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, here it is, plated with the gravy on it, and it looks really good, and this is what we're going to have for some dinner tonight. So there's your crock pot dinner that's easy to make.